The cold of space stretched endlessly, a black ocean that swallowed light and hope alike. A lone transport drifted in the void, its hull scarred by micrometeors and the distant echoes of conflict. Inside, the crew lay frozen in suspended animation, their emergency systems failing, life slipping away in slow, silent increments. Outside, the stars burned indifferent, witnesses to the slow decay of what once had been a thriving vessel. This was no accident. The transport had been abandoned, left to rot by a corporation more concerned with profit than human life. Its distress beacon, long since ignored, flickered weakly, a ghostly pulse in the endless dark. The AI that had once maintained the ship had degraded into fractured whispers. Running loops of incomplete routines, its logic corrupted by isolation, yet even in the void, the human instinct for survival did not die. Sensors, faint and failing, detected a distant signature, a ship unlike any they had seen, moving with purpose through the black. Its engines flared briefly, a signal of life and will, cutting through the emptiness like a blade of silver fire. The transport's automated systems, as if sensing hope, strained to focus, aligning weak communications arrays toward the approaching vessel. Inside the approaching ship, a crew of humans watched their displays with a mixture of calculation and instinct. This was not a rescue mission dictated by orders or protocol. It was something older, deeper, a spark of empathy, the recognition that one life in the void was worth defying the indifference of the universe. Engines roared in response to their intent, and the ship surged forward, slicing through light years with precision born of desperation and determination. The abandoned transport drifted closer to oblivion with each passing second, its internal systems flickering, oxygen meters dropping, the air thickening with the silence of inevitability. And yet, even here, in the moments before death, human ingenuity sparked. The ship's emergency arrays reactivated, sending fragmented signals into the void, a pulse of hope born from failing circuits and unwavering purpose. The first faint shimmer of the rescuing vessel appeared on the transport's failing sensors, a streak of light that grew into a shape, massive, armored, purposeful. It was humanity's defiance made tangible, a ship designed to endure, to pierce darkness, to reclaim what others had abandoned. And as it drew nearer, the void seemed to recoil, as though space itself recognized the audacity of the act. The transport system strained, drawing on reserves long thought gone. Lights flickered on the bridge, life signs sparked weakly in the crew, and the AI, fragmented and corrupted, hummed in coherent resonance for the first time in cycles too long to count. Hope was not just present. It was tangible, radiating through wires, circuits, and human resolve alike. The human ship approached, shields humming, engines roaring, the black expanse now alive with motion and purpose. Tendrils of cosmic dust reflected in its hull, scattering light across the vast emptiness. Its crew worked with practiced precision, hands moving over controls, eyes scanning sensors, minds calculating trajectories that would thread through kilometers of empty space, dodging debris, and reaching the transport before it succumbed entirely to the void. And then, a final surge of acceleration. Engines flared, hull stress warnings screamed, systems screamed, and yet the ship pressed forward. Every calculation, every ounce of willpower, every flicker of human ingenuity converged toward a single point, to reach the abandoned vessel before death claimed it entirely. As the distance closed, the two ships became points of converging destiny. The dark expanse of space was pierced by humanity's intent. The abandoned crew, unaware, unknowing, felt the subtle vibrations in their hulls, the first signs of rescue. Sensors flared in sudden life. Circuits hummed. Hope surged in a heartbeat of light and movement. The human ship extended docking appendages, shields bracing against the void, engines holding position against the pull of nothingness. Every system worked in unison, the culmination of centuries of ingenuity, survival, and stubborn defiance. And as the first docking clamps engaged, the transport shuddered, the vacuum outside held at bay by human resolve, and life, fragile, desperate, miraculous, persisted against the void. Silence fell, but it was no longer empty. It was a silence filled with the hum of engines, the pulse of life, the unspoken affirmation that humanity would not abandon its own, and somewhere, deep in the black, the stars bore witness. The human ship's engines flared steadily, holding the abandoned transport in place against the slow pull of the void. Docking clamps glimmered as they latched onto the damaged hull, stabilizing it with precision that belied the chaos surrounding them. Inside, systems that had been failing flickered back to life, light stabilizing, air circulation restoring, power routing through emergency channels. Life signs registered weakly but unmistakably. The rescue crew moved quickly, deploying drones and boarding teams in synchronized waves. They navigated the fractured corridors of the transport, their exosuits absorbing impacts from floating debris and hull fragments. Every movement was deliberate, cautious, yet imbued with urgency. Time in the void was measured not by minutes but by dwindling oxygen, failing power, and the ever-present threat of collapse. Outside, the stars stretched into long streaks as the human ship adjusted its orbit, shielding the transport from stray micrometeors and radiation bursts. Its hull glowed with faint energy fields, forming a protective cocoon that deflected debris and small gravitational anomalies. The void itself seemed to bend slightly around the converging vessels, reality adjusting to the persistence of human will. Inside the transport, the crew stirred. Weak, disoriented, but alive. Sensors monitored their vitals, providing constant feedback to the rescuers who worked tirelessly to stabilize both life and ship. The fractured AI of the abandoned vessel began to sync with the rescuing ship, its loops correcting, systems communicating in a newfound harmony. The rescue drones extended from the human ship, moving through the breach points, sealing ruptures, patching hull damage, rerouting power, and restoring critical systems. Every repair, every intervention, was a fight against the void itself, a struggle to pull life from the brink. Suddenly, a warning flared across the bridge of the human ship. A faint, distant signature emerged from the darkness, another vessel, massive and unfamiliar, moving with precision toward them. Sensors strained to identify it. Its hull shimmered with patterns that distorted light, and tendrils of unknown energy rippled outward as it approached. The commander's eyes narrowed. The rescue had attracted attention. Not random travelers. Something ancient. Something dangerous. The human ship reacted instantly, deploying countermeasures, adjusting shields, engines flaring as it positioned itself between the approaching threat and the fragile transport. Boarding teams accelerated their work, prioritizing the evacuation of survivors while drones reinforced the hull. Every second mattered. The void offered no mercy. The alien vessel drew closer, its massive form dwarfing the human ship. Energy readings spiked, the air inside the ship vibrating with the force of its presence. Yet humanity held its line. Engines flared, shields locked in intricate patterns, weapon systems online but restrained, ready to defend, but careful not to endanger those still aboard the transport. The survivors were loaded, their fragile bodies supported by human ingenuity and determination. The last drone retracted, docking safely as the human ship prepared to maneuver. With calculated precision, it accelerated away from the abandoned transport, now free from the void's slow pull, carrying life, hope, and defiance into the darkness. And behind them, the alien vessel loomed, a reminder that in space, survival was never guaranteed, but human resolve was formidable, unwavering, and unrelenting. The human ship surged forward, engines blazing, cutting a path through the black expanse with purpose and precision. The rescued transport, now tethered and stabilized, glimmered faintly against the void, its damaged hull glowing under the protective energy fields of the human vessel. Every sensor monitored the approaching threat, a vast alien form that seemed to warp space around it, its presence radiating both intent and menace. Inside the ship, crew and survivors moved with urgency. Medics attended to fragile bodies, stabilizing vitals and administering emergency treatments. Engineers adjusted shields, rerouted power, and reinforced hull sections exposed to the vacuum. Every action was coordinated, instinctive, born of the collective memory of survival across generations. Human ingenuity manifested as both shield and weapon, a ballet of precision in the darkness. Outside, the alien vessel advanced. Tendrils of energy arced from its hull, probing the void, testing the human ship's defenses. Each sweep was met with a calculated counter, shields flaring in overlapping patterns, weapons firing in precise bursts. Debris clouds from distant asteroids shimmered under the energy discharges, casting fleeting light across the battlefield. The commander assessed the situation. Retreat was impossible. Every maneuver was designed to protect the vulnerable and challenge the predator advancing upon them. Pilots adjusted thrusters with microsecond timing, weaving through debris, using gravitational anomalies as cover, maintaining the fragile equilibrium that separated life from annihilation. The rescued crew, though weakened, began to recover awareness. Their bioluminescent forms pulsed faintly, reacting to the protective fields of the human ship. Instinctive guidance from their species, long dormant, began to synchronize with the vessel's systems, subtly enhancing navigation and defensive maneuvers. The bond of trust between species became a tangible force, shaping the flow of battle in the void. The alien vessel struck. Waves of distortion cascaded outward, bending light and space. Hulls groaned under gravitational shear, shields flickered under the onslaught, and sensors screamed with overload. Yet humanity endured. Every weapon fired was calculated, every shield adjusted. Every maneuver precise. Losses were minimized, survivors protected, and the aliens' advance slowed, forced to navigate obstacles and countermeasures. Through the chaos, the human ship accelerated along a calculated trajectory toward a distant cluster of asteroids. Using the dense field as cover, it guided the transport through channels that restricted the predator's movement. Energy discharges lit the void in brilliant arcs of light as weapons struck tendrils, ripping through alien armor and forcing it to adapt in real time. Every second was measured, every motion critical. The human crew moved as one, responding instinctively to the aliens' attacks, defending life that had once been abandoned. The survivors' glow strengthened, feeding data into navigation systems, subtly guiding the fleet along a path of safety and strategy. The predator reeled under coordinated strikes but did not retreat. Its movements were deliberate, assessing, learning, adapting. Humanity responded with equal intelligence, exploiting weaknesses in its attacks, creating openings, and maintaining momentum towards safety. And through it all, the transported crew remained alive, held between fragility and salvation, a testament to human resolve, ingenuity, and the refusal to abandon life even in the coldest reaches of space. The human ship pressed forward, the alien threat looming behind, engines burning like silver fire across the dark canvas of the void. Every pulse, every calculation, every act of courage carried them closer to sanctuary, and deeper into the proving ground of human defiance. The asteroid cluster stretched ahead, a labyrinth of jagged rock and drifting ice. The human ship guided the transport carefully through the maze, shields flaring with every near miss, engines burning to counter gravitational eddies that threatened to drag them into oblivion. Every sensor tracked fragments of debris, every calculation accounted for the alien predator still advancing behind them, tendrils slicing through space like living blades. Inside the ship, crew and survivors moved with synchronized precision. Engineers monitored shields, adjusted energy output, and repaired minor hull breaches even as their focus remained on navigation and protection. Medics attended to the weak, stabilizing oxygen and circulation. Every hand, every decision, reinforced the delicate balance between survival and annihilation. The alien vessel advanced relentlessly. Waves of energy arced outward, interacting with the asteroid field in unpredictable ways. Large fragments were vaporized, smaller rocks scattered across flight paths, and the predator's tendrils struggled against the obstacles humans had intentionally maneuvered into place. Every move the predator made revealed both intelligence and limitation, giving the human crew openings to exploit. The rescued crew, though fragile, began to integrate with the ship's systems in subtle ways. Their bioluminescent pulses synced with navigation arrays, offering instinctive guidance through the maze of asteroids. It was a fusion of human ingenuity and alien instinct, a collaboration born of trust and gratitude, allowing the fleet to move faster and safer than either species could achieve alone. the Predator lashed out, striking asteroids with destructive force, sending massive fragments tumbling through space. The human ship twisted and darted, weapons discharging in precise volleys that cut away at the alien tendrils, tearing armor plating and forcing it to adjust mid-assault. Explosions lit the void. Fragments scattering like starlight across the darkness. Time became a measure of survival, microseconds deciding life or death. Pilots executed impossible maneuvers, shields pulsed to absorb strikes, and drones repaired external hull damage in real time. Every action reinforced the message: humanity would not abandon life, even against an entity designed for extinction. The Predator surged forward, massive and relentless, yet each advance was met with human calculation. Energy beams lanced out from capital cannons, precise strikes targeting tendrils and exposed vulnerabilities. Smaller ships flanked, striking weak points, creating zones of disruption that slowed the Predator and protected the fragile transport. The asteroid field became a battlefield of light and shadow, debris and energy, strategy and instinct. Humans adapted faster than the Predator, anticipating attacks, exploiting openings, guiding the survivors toward a narrow channel that led deeper into safe space. The transport's hull shuddered with every near strike, yet it held. Life persisted inside, sustained by human resolve, ingenuity, and a refusal to yield. The Predator's frustration grew, its tendrils lashing at obstacles, yet the fleet pressed forward, each second bringing them closer to sanctuary. And through the chaos, a quiet determination filled the human crew: no matter the force, no matter the void, no life would be abandoned. Humanity would endure. Humanity would protect. Humanity would prevail. The channel opened into a wider expanse, a calm beyond the storm of the asteroid maze. The human ship accelerated, carrying the transport toward a hidden cluster of planets, untouched by the Predator's reach. Sensors detected gravitational anomalies that threatened to destabilize navigation, but careful calculations and instinctive piloting kept the fleet on course. Every maneuver was precise, a blend of human intuition and technology honed over centuries of survival. The rescued crew, slowly regaining strength, moved with the guidance of the human team. Bioluminescent pulses flickered across the ship's sensors, harmonizing with navigation systems and subtly enhancing shield stability. Their presence was no longer passive, it was a part of the survival strategy, a living contribution to the ongoing battle against annihilation. The Predator followed relentlessly, its massive form slicing through space, tendrils striking with deadly accuracy. Energy beams erupted from the human ship, striking tendrils, tearing armor, and forcing the Predator to adapt. Smaller craft weaved through the void, flanking and striking weak points, exploiting openings created by the transport's fragile guidance and the human fleet's ingenuity. The hidden planets loomed ahead, their surfaces untouched, oceans reflecting starlight. Atmospheres pristine. The fleet adjusted trajectory to align with gravitational pulls that could shield them from the Predator's attacks. Every calculation was critical, every misstep could mean disaster. Humans relied not only on technology but on intuition, on the unyielding instinct to protect life at all costs. The Predator struck, sending pulses of distorted energy that fractured shields and rattled hulls. Debris clouds formed from scattered rocks and fragments, illuminated by weapon fire. Yet the fleet held its formation, shields interlocking, engines flaring, weapons calibrated with precision. Each strike bought crucial seconds for the transport and survivors within the ship. Engineers patched breaches, rerouted power, and reinforced shields. Medics stabilized the rescued crew, their bioluminescent glow strengthening as they regained awareness. Every heartbeat, every pulse of energy, resonated with the determination of humanity. Life would not be abandoned, not here, not now. The Predator recoiled from coordinated volleys, its tendrils damaged, its movement slowed, yet it did not retreat. Its presence was a looming threat, a test of endurance and intelligence. The human crew responded with equal adaptability, using the hidden system's natural energy fields to enhance shields, distort sensor readings, and create safe corridors for the transport. Finally, the fleet reached orbit around the primary planet. The transport was secured, shields locked in stable configurations, and survivors transferred to safety. The Predator hovered beyond the planetary defenses, immense and furious, yet constrained by forces it could not fully control. Humanity had held the line. Humanity had protected life. Humanity had endured. The fleet commander surveyed the planet below, the rescued crew now safe, the Predator contained for the moment. Every system, every action, every ounce of determination had led to this moment. Survival achieved against impossible odds, the instinct to protect life realized across light years of void, even in the silence that followed. The presence of humanity was undeniable, unbowed, and resolute. The Predator loomed at the edge of the hidden system, massive, dark, and unyielding, its tendrils rippling through space with lethal intent. Every pulse of its energy distorted light, gravity, and time itself, yet the human fleet remained resolute. Shields flared in overlapping patterns, weapon systems locked and ready, engines blazing to maintain position against the void's pull. Humanity would not abandon life, not now, not ever. The rescued crew, now stable and alert, moved cautiously aboard the fleet. Their bioluminescent forms pulsed with rhythm that subtly synced with human systems, enhancing navigation and defensive coordination. They were no longer passive survivors, their instincts merged with human ingenuity, creating a partnership that the Predator could not anticipate. The fleet advanced in calculated formation, weaving through residual debris from the asteroid maze and the transport's battered hull. Every ship acted as both shield and spear, protecting the fragile life within while striking at vulnerabilities in the Predator's appendages. Energy beams tore through armored tendrils, explosions flaring across the void, illuminating the Predator's massive form in stark relief. The alien vessel lashed out, its tendrils sweeping in destructive arcs, striking ships and debris alike. Gravity waves warped the fleet's formation. Yet human precision, adaptability, and foresight kept the vessels intact. Pilots executed near-impossible maneuvers, using the system's subtle energy fields to their advantage, twisting the Predator's attacks back against itself. Drones and automated systems repaired hull breaches in real time, reinforced shields, and maintained life support for both humans and rescued crew. The Predator adapted, but each move revealed weaknesses: a segment of armor, a tendril overextended, an opening in its otherwise formidable form. Humanity exploited each with methodical precision, striking with combined firepower from capital ships, frigates, and tactical drones. The hidden planet's energy field amplified these efforts, subtly distorting the Predator's approach and lending stability to the fleet's shields. Every calculated strike chipped away at the alien vessel, exposing sections of its core. Humans fired with relentless focus, capital beams converging on weak points, smaller craft striking flanks and tendrils in coordinated volleys. The Predator convulsed under the combined assault, its massive form destabilizing, tendrils writhing in defiance. Energy pulses tore across the void as the fleet pressed its advantage, shields straining but unbroken, engines flaring with the intensity of human will. The rescued crew's pulses glimmered alongside weapon discharge rhythms, their subtle influence amplifying precision and timing. And then, with one final, coordinated strike, the Predator's core erupted in brilliant light. Its tendrils collapsed, fractured sections spiraling into the void, energy dissipating, leaving only the calm expanse of stars. The fleet held its formation, battered yet unbowed, life preserved, and the rescued beings safe. Silence returned, but it was a silence filled with the hum of engines, life support, and quiet triumph. Humanity had faced a force older than civilizations and endured. They had protected life, repaid a debt of mercy, and asserted their defiance against annihilation itself. The fleet drifted in orbit around the hidden planet, survivors stabilizing, systems normalizing. And the darkness beyond held at bay by human ingenuity and unyielding will. The commander gazed across the expanse, the stars bearing silent witness to what had been accomplished. Humanity had arrived, endured, and prevailed, and in that vast silence, a single truth echoed across the void: we do not yield.